just love me, yeah, I know.
Yes, kids' church, come on up, yeah. You saw it on the screen, huh? Yeah. How many of you, when you woke up this morning, thought like that about church? You did, yeah. See, everybody here was excited. That's good. Good news. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We had a lesson read this morning that a lot of people say is their favorite verse in the Bible. And it came from the book of a book in the Bible called Micah. Can you say Micah? Micah. Micah chapter 6. There you go. One more time. Micah chapter 6. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Yes. And I love this verse too. And this verse sounds a little like this. It said, "What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God?" That's all it says. You read this, a lot of times this will be on people's funeral bulletins, but it's also something, this is what actually, I think my mom told me is inscribed on my grandfather's tomb. What does the Lord require of you? And so they say that's their favorite verse, but do you know what any of that means? Do justice, love kindness, walk humbly. You're good at reading? Good. So you saw the screen when it said children's message too, didn't you? Yeah. Easier to talk about that. Yeah. Did you? Good work. Learning to read is an awesome thing. It's a great thing. And you've learned to read. Who here can read? We're doing a good job here. We're doing a good job. Some days my eyes don't let me read very well. So, here, let's see. Where were we? Okay. So, yes, thank you. Do justice, love kindness. We're not always sure exactly what it means. And this is said in the Bible because the people are saying, they're asking a question. They're saying, how can I make God happy? That's where this starts. They say, how can we make God happy? And it says, He's told you. God said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with God. But we still have to understand what they mean, doesn't we? Yeah, we still have to ask what all that kind of stuff means. Yeah, what does humbly mean? That's a good question. We got to ask what humbly means. We have to ask what justice means. We kind of know what kindness is, right? At least a little bit. We know what kindness is. So let's make it as simple as we can. This favorite verse. I'm going to give you 3 things about those 3 things. Did you have something you wanted to say? Oh, because I'm going to give you a lollipop when I'm done. We might not be sure about the message, but we know we like lollipops. So let's do this. All right. So do justice. I want you to hear what do justice sounds like when we put it in words that make more sense. What if I said to you, instead of do justice, make sure other people get treated fairly? Does that sound easier to do? Right? We treat them fairly. That means we treat them the same as other people, and if they need help, we help them. So make sure people get treated fairly. Then we have do or love kindness. And kindness says, make sure that other people are cared for. So make sure they're treated fairly. Make sure other people are cared for. And then the big one. Then what does humbly mean? What does it mean to walk humbly with God? It means to trust that God follows you, or that you follow God. That God invites us to follow. Just a little bit ago, when we were starting worship, did you hear Pastor Dave all excited and talking really fast, right? I have to be in control, and I went and sat down, and my hands are doing this because of how fast everything was happening. And Nyla, Pastor Nyla says, you know God's really in charge, not you, right? Yes, but I sure like to feel like I am. So that walking humbly means that sometimes in the midst of all that's going on, we just remember to follow where God asks us to go. And today God says, make sure people get treated fairly. Make sure you treat them with care. And then do your best to follow where God leads, trusting that God is in charge. That's what it means to walk humbly. So let's say a word of prayer, and then I'm going to let you grab a lollipop and go back to your seat. There's no ulterior motive in having you with something in your mouth during the sermon. Not at all. So let's pray. Let's pray, shall we? Dear God, help me to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with you. Amen. All right, hey, thanks for coming up. You grab a lollipop and you can go back and sit down when you get one. Don't they just take